how to be more confident if you are losing your hair and you are currently balding. And the problem with this is something you cannot really control, right? It's kind of like your height. Just did a coaching video on height, how you can't control that. This is something you're born with. This is just part of your natural genetics, whether you've had balding issues with family members, right? Maybe your grandpa, your dad, and now you're getting them. This is something you can control. I mean, you have options these days, right? You can do, I think it was called like Rogaine, or you could get those hair plugs that you could put in, which I don't know if they've really progressed on those, how realistic they look. It's definitely a step forward from back in the day when guys used to get the hairpiece, and they just used to get the hairpiece, and you could tell that it was a hairpiece and it looked terrible, and it would have just been better if the guy just did not do the hairpiece, right? So if you're balding and you're insecure about it, really your option is A, to go do the implants, which again, it's kind of like 50-50. It could end up looking bad, or it might not look so bad. It might look better than what you have now, right? Because I know a guy who's just like balding up here, and he still has the two sides of his hair, and he's been thinking about getting something to fill up the middle. But again, you don't know until you do it, right? I mean, it looks different on everybody depending on the shape of the head you have and the quality of the work. Now, your second option is to simply shave it all off. And a lot of guys have done that. I've known a lot of guys in the pickup community who have decided to just shave it all off and go with the bald head, because that has become a thing these days. And for women, some women, it's even a fetish, right? You can think of guys like a Pitbull or The Rock or anybody else who's kind of just shaved their whole head off. In our PUA community, I know Neil Strauss did, because his head looked like little weeds up there, and he was insecure about it, and he was messing with his confidence. So he shaved it all off, and then he put these cool little earrings on each ear, and he ended up looking like a really cool guy. If you ever see the before and after picture, I think it was in his book, The Game, which I recommend reading. His before and after picture are like night and day. It's like in one photo where he's losing his hair, he looked like a complete dweeb. And then the next photo, he looked like a boss because he just shaved all his hair off, right? But again, some guys don't feel comfortable with that, and they want to have some hair. But your only option outside of that is to do the plugs, or to I wouldn't recommend getting a hairpiece, or a wig or something. I would not recommend that. Or just flat out wearing a baseball cap everywhere you go. But at some point, you're going to have to take that cap off. So if this is causing you to be insecure, just understand that you're not the only one. That baldness is something that a lot of men deal with. I'm fortunate because we don't have this problem in my family. My dad, my grandpas, on both sides, my mom and my dad, no balding whatsoever. So thank God. Yeah, I still have my full head of hair, which is cool, which I'm kind of playing with right now. But I still have my full head of hair, and it hasn't turned gray even at my age. I don't color my hair. This is all natural. So my dad didn't even get gray hair until he was in his 60s, believe it or not. He might have had one or two, which I'm starting to show, but he didn't have gray hair until his 60s. So I've been blessed that way. But I've had classmates, guys that, back in the 80s, when I was in high school, they just had the big hair, and just, those are in the metal days, and they had plenty of hair, and they fast forward today, they've lost all their hair, and it's kind of sad to see too, because I didn't remember them that way. But a lot of them too, started to lose their hair in their 20s. And some of you, if you're in your 20s, you might be going bald now, and this might be causing you to be insecure. But just understand, like I said, you're not the only one, because it's easy to feel like, oh man, this is only happening to me. And how come this does happen to everyone? No, you're not the only one. Okay, and it's not something that you can change, because it's just part of your genetics, unfortunately. But the way to deal with that is you either take one or two of those options. Either you decide to get some very high quality fillers that you could put into your head so it doesn't look so bad. I think Nick Cage did something like that, although his are kind of hit or miss. So he did something like that, or you could just decide to just shave it all off, which, I mean, if it were me, I'd probably go with that option and just get rid of it all and just own it, right? Because that's all you really can do at this point is just, you have to own it. It's part of your family genetics. It's not a big deal. It's not nearly as a big deal as you probably think it is, because we often, create these demons in our head where we think like it's bigger. The problem is bigger than what it actually is, when in reality, it's really not that big a deal. Nobody's really going to notice that stuff. It's only you, because you have to look in the mirror at yourself on a daily basis. However, if you are losing your hair, unfortunately, those are your two options. And, depending on what you're most comfortable with, that's what I would essentially boil it down to. Like, what do you feel most comfortable with that will give you the most confidence in yourself? Will it be just leaving it the way it is, not touching it, or at least trying to do what you can with it? I know Trump kind of does this like comb over, where he just like combs it right over. That's what he's comfortable with. He doesn't want to shave his head bald, obviously. He doesn't want to do that. And I think he would look kind of like odd with bald hair, because we're so used to seeing him with that, that comb over. And some people have accused it of being like, it looks like a raccoon on his head or something. And then he always retorts back, yeah, but a raccoon doesn't have $7 billion in his bank account. He always retorts with that. So when it comes down to brass tacks, man, those are your three options really. Is like, you either get the plugs, which I'm not that much of a fan of, depending on, the quality of them. You shave it all off, go bald, and just own it and look badass, look like Pitbull. Or you can also just decide to leave it the way it is and just wear a baseball cap, and just not let it eat away at you. And at the end of the day, no matter what you decide to do, something you can't control like that, you should not let eat away at you. Even if people try to bully you, pick on you about that, and especially if you create any enemies, that's the first thing they're going to go after. So know that. That will be the first thing they bring up, right? It's like anything that, is within distance that they could bring. Oh, look at that. The hair, blah, blah, blah. That will be the first thing. I mean, because that's what losers do. They usually attack the first thing that they possibly can, right? That's what they're going to go for, So, I mean, for me, it's my age, right? They were like, "Oh, still doing pickup? What? Are you getting too old for the Smith there?" But there's that. These are things that you just can't control, right? And you just own it. I mean, I own the fact that I'm my age and I'm still doing this. I own the fact that my chick is like way younger than me. It doesn't bother me whatsoever, right? Because your only other option outside of that is to let it just put you inside your head and create these demons in your mind where your quality of life sinks because there's something about your physical appearance that you can't control. You understand? So no matter what you decide to do, you got to own it. Okay? You got to own it. You got to feel comfortable with it. And the last thing you want to do is project those insecurities on other people through law of state transference, which I mentioned in a few other coaching videos, because what you feel, the other person will feel. Okay, you don't want to project that through law of state transference. Right? Instead, you want to focus on projecting a cool vibe, being fun, humorous, charismatic. You don't want to project this vibe where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. My head, don't look at it. You don't want to project that because that's not attractive to anybody. Okay, nobody is ever going to find that attractive, especially a hot girl. So remember, own it. Don't let it turn you inside out. It's kind of like people who lead with their, skin color, like, or their sexual preference. Oh, I'm a cis, trans, whatever they're doing, right? Whereas they're not leading with their character. Just the same. Don't lead with your head. Right? Don't lead with your baldness. Lead with who you are, your personality. Okay? Your good qualities. Right? As I always teach guys, don't focus on your weaknesses, focus on your strengths. Right? You can't fix your weaknesses most of the time, especially something like your balding, your patterns of baldness. You can't fix that. Only to a certain degree, really, with the plugs. But what you can fix are what you focus on, right? And I want you to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. And with that said, as always, drop your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video, especially if you're going through any type of baldness whatsoever. If you have any advice for anybody else who might be experiencing the same type of insecurities or the same type of genetics that they want to, essentially alleviate. If you've had success and you could recommend anyone, go ahead and drop them in the comments below and let me and share it with the tribe. And let me know if there's anything I missed in tonight's coaching video. Drop those comments below. And until next time, this is Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets signing out here from my Range Rover, right? This is one of the last series of coaching videos I'm doing here in my Range Rover. It's still hard. It's really hard to let this car go, but this is the last series of coaching videos I'm doing in here. So don't forget to smash the like button below. Smash that like button right now. Also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you actually subscribe to my AlphaMaleSecrets channel. I've been checking my analytics, man, and too many of you guys are still not yet subscribed to the AlphaMaleSecrets channel here on the YouTube. So please make sure you're subscribed as well. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And, just help a brother out and subscribe. And for you guys who love my work and all of this amazing content I'm teaching you here on the AlphaMaleSecrets, the best way to support my work is becoming a premium member of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm protecting my content from YouTube in the event they try to shut me down one day. They won't be able to because all my content will be protected. It is being protected on my private platform. So this is the absolute best way to support my work, is becoming a premium AlphaMaleSecrets subscriber on my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel, which is being hosted on a private platform. Right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium AlphaMaleSecrets content from me. So take advantage of it. Okay, all you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.